Round 7 of the 2022 Indy Lights Championships takes place at Mid-Ohio Raceway this weekend, and joining me is Doric New Zealand Ambassador Hunter McElrea. Where have you been, my friend? Hello.
Hey mate, I've been in America doing some laps, but no, it's been a while since we talked. Obviously, we've kind of been. I think I've been a bit slack on my end, but we're back, and that's all that matters. So no, it's good. It's been a pretty decent run for me the last couple races. Obviously two podiums in a row, really getting some good momentum now. Still obviously chasing the first win. I keep putting myself in positions to win every weekend. So it's a lot of lessons being learned, a little bit of kind of finding some momentum again after a tough start to the year, truthfully. But no, learning a lot and having a lot of fun. So, like you said, heading to Mid Ohio this weekend, a track for me that I have great memories at. I won two races there. I've got, I think, five poles, 4 or 5 poles there. So really, for me, a really happy hunting ground. So, I think heading into that, just having good results in the past, it's always nice to kind of give you a bit of confidence. And for sure, as driving and enjoyment, I love that track. So, yeah, it should be a great weekend. Andretti last year won both races, so they've got pretty strong cars there. So we'll see what happens. Should be good.
Yeah, so you said 2 podiums in your last couple of races. So how are you feeling? Like you had a bit of a struggle with some performances and some, did you get to convert from great qualifying to end result? So 2 podiums in a row. So how are you feeling now?
Yeah, good. I mean, obviously, started the year off with a bang pole and debut by a fair bit, which was, amazing. And just kind of obviously made a mistake leading the race pretty comfortably, had the win in the bag, and then hit the wall by myself, which was a pretty hard pill to swallow. And then obviously, I made another mistake right after that at Barber. So was last in the championship after two races. Confidence wasn't at an all-time high there, but it's one of these things where you just got to learn from it and bounce back. So uh, since then, five after that point, 3 out of 5 races have been on the podium, qualified in the front row, I think 5 times. So really strong. Truthfully, since then, since that point, I think I've scored the second best points. So since that point, it's been pretty decent for me. But obviously, I'd be lying if there wasn't a little bit of frustration. Just kind of like, damn, I keep putting myself in positions to win, So it'll come. Obviously, I'm still only halfway through the championship. This marks the literal halfway point. So plenty of races to go, man. It feels like in one way, it feels like such a long time. From kind of the start of the championship to now. It feels like a whole championship's happened almost. So I'm really excited for the second half of the year. I feel like you said, coming off a lot of podiums in a row now, I've got that confidence and, just being there every weekend and kind of still like just getting back in my groove too. I feel like in some ways, I think just it takes a bit of pressure off. And I think for me, just this weekend, I'm going to go have fun, drive my car, and yeah, the rest should handle itself. It'll be what it'll be.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've always found it interesting, like sporting teams like football and soccer teams, like when they try and improve or they have disappointments, they go back on the training pitch and they work harder and do more tactical stuff. As a driver, what does a driver do to, overcome that type of thing and improve the next time out?
I think a lot of it is, it's a good question, firstly, very good question, because it's such a complex answer and there's not a right or wrong answer because everyone's different. For me, I do a lot of physical training, every day with my personal trainer. And then, obviously you got time with sim, you got time with your engineer. I have my own engineer that works full time at Andretti just on my car. So, I spend a lot of time chatting to him and just finding that happy medium fine line which works for you. When truthfully, all through testing in the off season, it went so smooth, and every time I was in the car, which obviously, this year it's shown we've been definitely one of the fastest cars no question, all year, which obviously is very important, and it's good. But kind of you have this nice little groove and this confidence, and that really carries you. And you have like mainly this kind of self trust in yourself of you just keep doing what you're doing, keep working hard, try find those little bits because you can never really sit on your laurels, I guess. But just having that self confidence is probably the most important thing. And having those two tough results, it makes you kind of question yourself a little bit. And I think after, when I polled in St. Pete, I wasn't necessarily expecting it. I believed I could do it, but I was driving the car, not thinking about anything, not thinking about championship, not thinking about anything. I was just driving it purely just to drive the car the best I could. And that was the result. I think after I crashed in St. Pete, truthfully, it was a little bit of like maybe trying too hard or just trying to force it a bit much. And even some great results I've had, qualified, like I said, on my front row, pretty much every race. And even those laps, I've just made a little mistake here and just probably trying to force it a bit much. So I think this weekend I'm just going to, kind of like I touched on before, just really enjoy it and drive it and maximize what I have. And usually that's been enough. So no, but kind of with driving, I guess it's a little different to every other sport, and maybe similar to some sports in some ways where your mental headspace is, if that's not right, nothing is right. So confidence and results, confidence comes with results. So I think, to be honest, what makes the good drivers great is coming back from the bad results and rebounding from hard weekends, which everyone has to do, and I've been through that as well. So yeah, I know I kind of gave a bit of a long-winded answer there, but that's probably as good as I could answer that.
Good in-depth answer. Okay, Mid-Ohio. So for us people who have never been to Mid-Ohio before, don't know where it is, give us a bit of an insight into give us a postcard from Mid-Ohio Raceway.
Unfortunately, there's not too much sparkly things about, I guess, the area of Mid-Ohio apart from the racetrack. It's kind of rural area, I guess you could describe it. Typically, maybe apart from street tracks and things like that, racetracks tend to be obviously pretty segregated from big cities and things like that. Obviously, apart from street tracks, like I said, but no, it's the track itself has obviously been around for a very long time, and it's one of the best tracks in America, I personally think. It's got a lot of elevation, really fun, technical little track. It's really got like a one-lane groove to it, in terms of like, if you kind of misplace the car in one corner, it screws you up for the next corner, which screws you up for the next corner and the next corner and the next corner. So you really have to be in your right flow and putting the car in the right places, and really have your head around it. So that's why I really like it, because when you get the flow of the racetrack, it's really rewarding and really fun, because it's just like really good, fast, flowy corners. And when you hook up a lap around there in qualifying on new tires, it's really fun. But yeah, the racetrack, it brings out a lot of great fans too. It's been packed the last few years, even on the cool down laps, just looking at all the fans on the hill. It's kind of surprising, they just race day, everyone files in there, and it's cool to see. So I'm not don't want to throw too much shade at the Mid-Ohio area in Lexington, Ohio, but I think maybe I've been to tracks with a bit better area around, but it's not too bad. It's a nice little country town, and yeah, for sure, for me, the best bit about it is the racetrack.
Well, you've had plenty of success there in the past, and we look forward to hopefully continuing that this weekend. Thank you for your time, my friend. Go well.
No problem, mate. Thanks. Good to see you.
See you, mate.